Good evening, ma.
Good evening. Good evening. Looks like we have 9 people in class now. Any new persons? Mr. Kinwale.
Yes, mommy.
Good morning. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, ma.
Yes. Any new persons?
Yes, no new students.
All right.
No new students, ma.
So we can, I don't know. All right, let's quickly go on. Let me share my screen and then we can just go on immediately. So here we are. I would intermittently, I would ask to know whether I'm speaking to myself or there are people in the class. And if there are issues you want clarifications on, please just stop me. Just raise your hand and stop me. I'll try and look at the matter. But I need feedback so that I don't just remain here thinking I'm talking to people and I'm just talking to myself. Thank you. Ahmed, yes.
Good afternoon, ma. My name is
Good
Olafemi Ahmed.
afternoon.
Okay. I wasn't in class last week for the previous lecture, but I'm part of the class. And I understand that everybody in class introduced themselves and their background. I don't know, maybe you require me to do the same.
Yes, yes. Incidentally, I have your name. I have your name on my list here. Okay, please just go ahead.
Okay, my name is Olafemi.
I want to know where. Yes, Olafemi. Okay.
Yes, ma. I'm from Ondo State. I study sociology for my first degree.
Okay.
What else do you want to know, ma? Sorry.
That's what I want to know. I don't know where I got biz admin for you.
No, it's Olafemi Ahmed. I study sociology for my first degree.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
You are the same person as Ahmed Abdullahi.
No, there's another Ahmed.
Are you the same person?
No, ma, there's another Ahmed.
That's where I got it wrong. That person did Ahmed Olafemi. Olafemi. All right, thank you. Sociology. Good. Very good. Thank you very much. So we have increased our numbers. So now I know we have 2 Ahmeds in the class. I think there was one other name last week that I think we had to. Anyway, we'll get to know ourselves as we go on. So let's thank you very much. You want to lower your hand so that I don't call you again.
Okay, ma.
So social work with older persons, as we have it there, everybody by now knows my name. And in the last class, we tried to look at the course outline. So from what we have from what we discussed or what I presented to you the last class, I've tried to do some arrangements and see how these things can flow into themselves. So, or into one another. So let's see, today we would be starting with aging. So we'll look at aging. What do we mean by aging? How does it affect us? What are the kinds of information that we have concerning aging? It's for every one of us in this class. That's why I say I always like postgraduate class, because I'm not starting from the roots. I believe people already have enough knowledge for us to just build on. So we'll just go on and see what I have here. Like I said at the beginning, at the last class, I will send these slides to you when we finish. But now let's just go on and look at them together. So we have introduction as a general thing. When we look at it, there's a course on gerontology, and as we look at it, we say it has become very popular. Gerontology has become popular because generally people are living longer, and as people live longer, there will be matters to discuss with these people, for these people who are aging, who are living longer. There will be matters to discuss. There will be programs to come out with. There will be so many things. So that's why gerontology is becoming popular, because you find out that in most households today, there's no way you want to discuss some people who are above 60 and are there. If they are not parents, they are grandparents, or they are great-grandparents, and these people form part of our lives. And we also know that these people have a variety of needs, whether they are physical needs or their emotional needs. They have these kinds of needs. They also have interests. Don't forget that these were people who had a life and who still continue to have a life, even though they may not be working. As we look at it, they may be in retirement, but they have interests. And as with their needs and their interests, they also have challenges. So we cannot ignore all this. And that's why there must always be the discussion around gerontology. So do we have facts about this that we're talking about? Yes, we have facts. In 2015, the population of older persons, we mean people 60 years and above, was 9 and what do I have there? 900 million worldwide. Now there are projections, and the projections are what you see there. So that by 2050, we'll have 2 billion of older persons, people 60 and above. Now that above cannot be quantified now, because we don't know how much people or how old people are staying. Remember that for us in Nigeria, these are just projections, because we don't have concrete data. We don't have the true picture, but we can dwell on this and build around what we have. So in 2015, the figure in Lagos State was what you have there, while those age 60 and above, this is what we also have there. Now, the current estimate shows this number. So it shows the growth rate, that there's a growth rate, and that growth rate is 3.6%. Now, what implications do these have for us? The implication is that there is a steady increase. So there is a number of people who are 60 years and above that is increasing daily. And we'll find them in all of our households, in all of our communities. Now, older persons also account for 1/5 of the population that we have from UN. That's in 2019. Now, this report says that in 2019, there were these numbers of 65 and above worldwide. 2020 reports gives us this figure that we also have. And there are projections that the number will double. Of course, we do know that. Now, the life expectancy at 65 will also increase, even as dataless as we have. We know that the life expectancy has increased a little. Some years ago, we were 49 point something. Now we have moved a little to between 51 and 53. It's not good enough, but at least there's progress. So we can say that there's progress for us there. That in some communities, people live 79. That's their own what do you call it? Life expectancy rate, 679. So for us, it shows that we still have a lot of, but we still have people who are 100 and above, 90 and above, 80 and above. And I keep saying that the above, we cannot set a limit to it, because the truth is that we don't know the exact number. We don't know the exact age that the oldest person is in Nigeria. We don't have that data. And the number of older persons will be more in number than the youth. So if we then have a situation where older persons will be more than younger persons or the youth, you see that we need to talk about gerontology more and be able to think of how to work with these people. So when we have looked at the facts, these are the true, this all that we have show us the true picture of what we have on ground. So this group of persons cannot be neglected. They form a major part of community and they cannot be neglected. From data that we have, or from literature that we have, we know that more older persons live in rural areas. So people retire from Lagos, retire from work in Lagos and in big cities, they return to their villages. And if they don't return to their villages, they move away from the bubbling part of cities and go to the suburbs. So you have more older people in the suburbs than you have in the city area or the metropolis. You have more older persons. So when we have considered this, who are these older persons? We have agreed that they are 60 and above. In some climes, they say they are 65 and above. But let's say with 60 and above for convenience, and then we'll be able to work around that. So again, we have talked about them getting older. And once we talk about people getting older, we're looking at aging. So what is aging? So when we need to understand aging and the theories on aging, and then ageism is a thing that is happening in our communities, is happening in our societies, is happening in our homes. And that's why we have all sorts of negative words for older persons. Please, for us in this course, there's one word that is banned. If I want to call it, if I want to say it like that, there's this word that is banned, and that word is elderly. We take the word elderly away from us. You can use elders, you can use senior citizens, you can use seniors, you can use, of course, we say older persons, but we take elderly away because it is derogatory. So we take it away from, it's just like taking away, when society decided to take away handicap. People are not handicapped. There's nobody that is handicapped. We are just differently challenged and we are differently abled. So if we are differently abled, then we must have people that are differently challenged. If I'm able, the other person is also able. It's just that he's not able to do what I'm doing, or I'm not able to do what he's able to do. But let's look at it in this light. So we look at, are you still there with me?
Yes, ma, we are with you, ma.
Very good. Thank you very much. So we talk about aging. Now, from what I have here as description, it says aging is a process of system deterioration with time. So when the system begins to deteriorate, it begins to decline. The very day a person is born, that day he begins to age. So you cannot say somebody starts to age at 40. No, that person does not start to age at 40. The person begins to age from the day he is born, because you count day 1. Once you begin to count day 2, hour 3, hour 4, day 6, day 10, age is setting in. So the system begins to deteriorate. It goes first, it grows first, and then begins to fall. The central nervous system, we are told, gets to its peak at the age of 26. So whatever a person can ever become in the body gets to its peak at the age of 26. After 26, there's decline. But here we are told that the process of aging is this deterioration. Something begins to happen and this goes on. And so it is an experimental increase. People age as they add to years. Physiological changes will come in. And as physiological changes come in, the body begins to decline with age. And of course, as people also age, different things creep into the body, and they may cause diseases, they may cause loss of abilities, they may cause loss of body issues and bodily things that we can give all sorts of names to. If the person declines in his, the eyesight declines, the teeth declines, the muscles decline, the brain also declines. But the truth of the matter is that we know that the only decline that happens there is that the city is still there in the
Hello, can't hear you, ma.
Can't hear you.
All right, it's like she's out her network, probably. Let's wait for her.
I think I'm back. Is anyone listening?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
you're welcome back.
All
Ma.
right.
We can hear you
I
now, ma.
went out. I noticed that I just blanked out. Anyway,
Yeah, you're welcome back, ma.
thank you very much. So
Yes.
where am I now? I can't even find it. All right. My screen is also gone. All right. So here we are. We're looking at aging, and we're saying that aging is also a natural phenomenon. Is a universal thing. It happens to every living organism, whether they are plants, whether they are mammals, whether they are human beings. These things happen. As long as people have breath, as long as they breathe, they will all go through this natural phenomenon. And we say also that is a lifelong process, and it is inevitable. It involves noticeable transformation in the human ability and capacity to discharge their roles. So once we understand that age is a lifelong process, one does not get to a particular age and says he has stopped aging, or somebody gets to 16 and says he has stopped aging, or he gets to 90 and says he has stopped aging. No, until the person drops and we have buried the person, aging continues, because so many things will still continue to happen in the human body. So we're looking at aging from two perspectives, or from two areas. One, we have primary aging. Are you there?
Yes, we're with you, ma.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So we have primary aging, and with primary aging, we say that these are changes that are inherent in the aging process that are not reversible. You cannot reverse them. And that is where, when you begin to see wrinkles on the body, when you begin to see things happening in the body, in the physique, inside the human body, you cannot change them. For example, as we have here, it's a natural phenomenon for women to get to menopause. So there's nothing anybody can do about it. It can be delayed, but the truth of the matter is that it will happen. And once it happens, it cannot be reversed. That's primary aging. The second one is secondary aging. And these are part, or this would form a of things that can be changed. They can be reversed. For example, if somebody loses the hearing sense, we can use hearing aid. If somebody loses sharp visibility, of sharp ability to see, we can use glasses. These are things that can be reversed. But the truth of the matter is that the cause is what it can be changed. The truth inside the body may not be changed. So when secondary aging comes in, we say it is caused by illness associated with age, but are usually reversible. We say primary aging cannot be reversed. It's a normal phenomenon and it goes on like that. So age-related declines are reversible, especially when they are caused by environmental influences or behavior. For example, a person acquires some disease in old age because of smoking. If he stops smoking, for example, it's possible that that thing may go. It's possible. So it may be reversible. But if damage has already been caused, nothing can be changed. But we do understand that there are two types of aging: primary aging and secondary aging. Any questions there before we go on?
Well understood, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So we go on to the next slide, which talks about aging, social theories of aging. So these are some. I'm not going to go into this. This is a PGD class, so I will leave this for everybody to go and look into, read and understand. If there are issues that we don't understand, we can come back. So these are social theories of aging. And we have the role theory, we have the activity theory, we have disengagement theory, continuity theory, age stratification theory, modernization theory, life cost theory, and then we have cumulative advantage or cumulative disadvantage theory. I'll leave this to you. Let everybody go and read so that we have a clear picture of these various types of theories of aging. There are other types of theories of aging, and these are theories on aging. Like we have these stochastic theories, and these also are there are for us to understand, so that when we are looking at role theory, for example, you want to see why role theory is working for some people, and then continuity is working for some people, whereas the other one that we are looking at, these are those ones that are caused by small changes in the body over time. Now, these theories imply that aging is caused by small changes in the body over time, and the body's failure to restore the system and mend the damages to the body. So when the body refuses, or the body is unable to mend, the body is unable to bring restoration back to itself, you will find out that one or two of these theories are working. So we have the pacemaker theory, genetic theory, cross-linked theory, wear and tear theory, we have free radical theory, we have rate of living maturation theory. Now, broken down, but what we have there is I will look at the concept and the theories behind aging. So we have looked at that. What is the next thing that we want to look at? Aging theories. Again, these are programmed theories. These imply an extension of the genetically controlled processes of development throughout the lifespan. It assumes the extension, the aging plan activated in medicine. People who are in biology, they understand involve the inner self, the body, anything to anybody. We may not bother so much. So what then do we see as the myth of aging? Because we are looking at aging, we're trying to understand aging. And so if we want to understand aging, we want to also believe something, not believe, understand some things people believe about aging. The first one is that older people have inflexible personalities. True or false? Yes, Mr. Akinwale.
Yes. Sorry, I wanted you to revert back to the slide where we're talking about where we're looking at the social theories of aging, the role theory, activity theory, disengagement theory that you asked us to study.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But then now, that's the slide
yes,
on.
that's it, ma'am.
Okay.
Continuity theory. Age stratification.
Continuity theory, disengagement theory, activity theory, age stratification theory, modernization theory, life course theory.
Life course theory.
So I'll expect everybody to go into this, look at them individually and understand how they go. If you have issues, we can come back and look at them.
All right, it's okay, ma'am. You can proceed, ma'am.
All right. So I was asking the question, myths of aging. The first one is that older people have inflexible personalities. Is that true or false? I'm waiting for your answer.
Well, it depends. So it can be true and it can be false, depending on the situation and the circumstance, ma'am.
So what is the situation and what is the circumstance that will make it true or false? It's a myth, so it is not true. Because a few people have inflexible personalities would not be right to say every old person has inflexible personality. That is why it is a myth. People believe it, but it's not correct. People believe it, but it's not correct. Older people are miserable. Is that true or false?
That's not true. That's not true.
That's not true. Some people may be miserable. Young people can be miserable. So to just put a blanket on all old persons and say they are miserable is not correct. Now, it is also believed that an older person is like a child, like a young child, because the person now uses Zimmer frame to walk, or because the person is incontinent, does not make the person a child. He may have the things that happen to children because a child is incontinent at some stage. And it's not that he's incontinent, it's just that's the growing stage for that child. And an older person now returns to that stage, and then you say the person should be treated as a child. No, it's a myth and it's wrong. So for us who understand a bit of gerontology, we know that these myths are not correct. And they are myths, and so we should not dwell on them. Old persons are demented, and they have memory loss, or they have dementia. Is that correct?
False, ma.
False. So all old persons are sick, disabled, or both. It's not correct. Old persons are not productive. Of course, we have found out now that whether it is whether they are doing well or they are not doing well is another thing. But we have over 70s and over 80s now doing governance. Don't let's look at whether they are doing well or they are not doing well. Let's leave that side. But the truth of don't let's go into that one. But the truth of the matter is that they are in governance, and they are old persons. Does not make them that they are unproductive. In fact, we have learned that the most productive age for people is 70 and above. That's the most productive age. But for some reasons, that's not. But we do also know that from 26 to that period, people are very productive because they've got energy and they have strength. But these people may have lost energy, but they have not lost their senses. Their brains are still there. And so to say you cannot teach old dogs new tricks is also not correct. You can teach an old dog. What is teachable? Once he has the capability, he has the willingness. Once he has the willingness, you can teach old dogs new tricks. Then old age is a time of rejection and isolation. Many of us have come to believe that. And that's why people retire and they are weeping on retirement. Because they are afraid. They don't want to go in and be isolated. They don't want to feel rejection. They don't want to feel also rejected. They don't want to try it. But the truth of the matter is that nobody is rejecting anybody. It's just that there are phases and there are times, there are seasons. Things happen. So because you are not relevant in governance today, does not mean you have been rejected. Because they have sent you off in your place of work, does not mean you are rejected. Because they are related, even in their young age, if they have the wrong kinds of relationships. So that is why with aging, as people age, we must build relationships that will last, relationships that would stand the test of time when other relationships have dropped. Take an example. A 70-year-old loses the wife or loses the husband, and he begins to feel that the children have rejected. No, the children have a life also, and they are pursuing their own life. Your own life has come to correct. Why do we need to learn about aging? Why do we need to learn about aging?
Yes, hello, ma. Hello, ma.
Don't worry, go on.
Okay, can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think one of the major reasons why we need to learn about aging is to understand, you know, our aged people and know how to deal with them, how to identify and associate with them, and understand them from their own angle, their own perspective to life, and in another way, it also help us to understand that a time is going to come where we come to their level.
That's a major part.
Stage. Yeah.
Because it's a matter of time.
Yes.
It's a matter of time. Thank you very much. So 2 reasons. In the interest of older persons in community and in our own interest, so that we can prepare. So that when the time comes, you will not be feeling rejected. When the time comes, you will not be feeling isolated. When the time comes, you will not automatically become sick because they have said you are sick. And then you just automatically become disabled. Your arthritis will hold you and you can't walk again. You become disabled. Whereas you can do some few exercises that will help you put these things away. So we need to understand this to be able to move on. Now, these are myths. We have seen the myths and we have countered them. But we do have other matters. I don't know why my slide is not moving, but the next thing I want to talk about is ageism. Now, ageism, this is stereotyping. Just like the myths is stereotyping. grow. Their prejudices is an old man job. Or they say, don't worry, she's an old woman. Why? It's prejudice. Now it's systematic discrimination against a group of people, stereotyping a group of people by virtue of their age. That's ageism. And so we say ageism is coined by this man, Robert Butler, in 1969. And it describes just this discrimination of senior citizens, older persons, and elders in communities. Combine persons.
How should be back?
She's muted again. I guess it's a network.
Just to ensure that things go right. Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, you are connected back, ma. We can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So
Yes,
we'll go as fast as we can, since we will have the slides anyway. So if we then look at ageism, we have said it's prejudice, discrimination, and treatment of people. And then I have here a few of those things that are said to show that older persons are discriminated against, to show that ageism is in our society. Ageism is in our households. Ageism is in ourselves, even in our thinking. When a young person looks at somebody, or you look at somebody, even you, and you say old school, what are you saying? You say senior moment. You forget something all of a sudden. You are talking to them and the person just drifts away. You say it's senior moment. Or you say it's secondary, second childhood. Or you say old cargo. What others can we add to show this ages? I'm listening. If you can hear me, you have to contribute so that I know you are here. Mr. Akiwale, your people are not in class.
They are here, ma. We are all here,
Well,
ma.
yeah,
Not
ma.
here. It's only me and you that are here.
Well, yeah, ma.
You are not here because you are not talking. I've asked a question. You are not asking questions. You are not answering my own questions. So I just feel that I'm talking to Mr. Akiwale alone.
Like for instance, there's somebody that is not up to like a grandpa, and then
Yes.
maybe you are driving on the road, and maybe the person is driving slowly and sluggish. You just turn to the person and say, "Grandpa."
So that is,
you understand that kind of thing.
So, so it's grandpas that behave like that. That's what you are saying. Yes, it's ageism.
Sometimes, man, they also refer to older people as ancestors or old-fashioned.
Ancestors. Thank you. I think I should add that to my own. Now I will add that and say ancestors. So we say grandpa. No. We also have ancestors.
Hello, ma.
Yes, ma.
Okay, ma. Can we add senior citizen? I don't know.
Senior citizen is okay.
Okay, ma.
Senior citizens is okay because that's a better word than elderly. So it's not ageism. When you say somebody is a senior, is this when you then describe what happens to call somebody a senior citizen or comfortable in society. It's like somebody is driving, just like we say grandpa, and then somebody
How is the network disturbing this wonderful class now?
Our network has been on and off. This is terrible.
This nice class that this network is disrupting.
The class is lively somehow. If I had to come out of my function, but this network is so encouraging.
What is that? That one is stereotype.
I think she's out again. Let's
is out. I'm out again. I'm back.
Okay.
It's frustrating.
Welcome back.
It's frustrating if you keep going in and out.
This class is a nice, wonderful. We're enjoying ourselves, but this network is disrupting.
This is interesting.
It's disturbing, yeah. All right, so we have visual ageism and we have digital ageism. So the term visual ageism came in 2018. And it connotes social practice of visually underrepresenting older people or misrepresenting them in a prejudiced way. When people are not properly projected as older persons, if you do it to young persons, it doesn't matter. But when you do it to the older person, it is visual discrimination. It's ageism. So that way you are not showing them, you are giving, it's like giving a picture of older persons that are using walk sticks and bent and with gray hair and looking very sick. That is is the picture that we paint. So once you draw that kind of a picture, it's visual ageism that you are doing. In the young age, the second age begin to show.
Hello.
Right, let's yet exercise some little patience. I think she's trying to reconnect back. Thank you.
Is anyone there?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
Yeah. We are here.
Right here, ma.
All right. Let me just go. I'm using my phone again. So you may not be able to see my slides. But let's. Are you there? Let's just see
Yes,
if you
yes,
can
ma.
hear me.
We are together, ma.
We are here, ma.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma. We can hear you, ma.
Yes, ma. We can hear you, ma.
Recording in progress.
Hello.
Hello, ma.
All right. Let me put off one because so that the two would not be on. Or what do you think? I should leave both?
It's echoing at the background.
Is that coin? Okay, so I have to leave. Okay, let me
Yes.
let me put the phone off.
Okay, ma. Yes, ma.
Any better?
Yes, very well, ma.
All right. So probably I should not use the video. Let me take the video off. Probably that will help.
Okay. All right, ma.
All right. So we're talking about visual ageism, and we talked about depicting people in the with images that are not nice, that do not show life in the people, but that show that they are kind of in brackets handicapped. And then we have digital ageism. And with digital ageism, we are looking at prejudices that older persons face because of their use in the digital world. Now, the Gen Z, as they call themselves, many of them see themselves as native users and natives when it comes to digital matters, and they see older persons as dunces, as MUMU. They don't know anything. That's ageism. And then the younger people see themselves as hips and champs when it comes to. So there is digital ageism. There is the visual ageism. There are other things that are related to ageism that we can look at, or you will find as you read on. But I think for now, this will be sufficient for us to just know that there is visual ageism and there is digital ageism. Are we there?
Yes, ma. We're here.
Thank you very much. All right. So let's go on to look at gerontology. At least we should be able to look at gerontology and aging today. So gerontology, we are told that there are various descriptions and definitions because people look at gerontology from their own perspectives. But we know, and it has been established, that gerontology is a discipline, is a study of old age and the problems and diseases that are associated with old people. Gerontology is also defined as a scientific study of the phenomenon of aging. So when you gerontology is also concerned with changes that occur between the attainment of maturity and death. So when people become mature, they are no longer adolescents, they are no longer toddlers, they are no longer children. They have taken on the role or the position, happens from that time to age, the changes that happen about that, and people touring through middle age to later life. It includes in-depth understanding of physical changes, mental changes, old man, and logia, which means study. So it's the oh, not again, eh?
It is well, man. It is well.
It's very frustrating. Okay. So again, we are looking at the study of the old man, of an old person, anybody 60 and above. And once we begin to look at the aging process as it affects them, what happens to their physical bodies, mental state, and their social life, everything that happens and changes because people age, then we are looking at gerontology. Now, two big terms, gerontology and geriatrics. From literature, we know that geriatrics is a branch of medicine. And it talks about the treatment of diseases in old people, the sicknesses, the management of the medical and the clinical care. Clinical is not the social care. Now, when we begin to look at the social care, and we are looking at things that are not in the realm of medicine, we'll be looking at gerontology. So it is nice for us to understand the gap between the difference, not the gap, the difference between gerontology and geriatrics. People confuse it and they say people are in geriatrics. If somebody is in geriatrics, the person is in medicine and is thinking of how to treat an old person that is sick. He's looking at the medical side and giving clinical care to that person that is sick. That is only an older person. So we need this understanding. We have looked at gerontology. Gerontology is the study of aging, of the aging process and how it affects everyone in society. Geriatrics is the treatment given to that person who is sick, who is that person that is aging, that is sick. I'm sure that is very easy to understand. And then, so when we say what's the difference between geriatrics and gerontology, those of you in this field must be able to make clear distinctions about gerontology and geriatrics. Are we still there?
Yes, ma, we're with you, ma.
Thank you very much. So again, we see in-depth descriptions of the concept of gerontology. We have different definitions. And then we also see it as an academic study. Now, you cannot do medicine. This is a serious matter today.
Today, not today.
No be small. Okay, it will make us, anyway, I intend stopping once we finish talking about gerontology. We have health. We have social matters. We have retirement. We have politics. We have economy. And of course, the study of death itself and understanding death is part of gerontology. So in this field, we are looking at everything put together. It is an academic field. It is something in practice. It has to do with social development. It is multidisciplinary. It takes in all things, all groups of people, all groups of study, because it has to do with human beings that are in this class. And once you have adults anywhere, anything that happens with adults as they age will come in. And we also know that it is interdisciplinary. So, are we still there?
Yes, ma, we're with you, ma.
All right, thank you. Thought you had gone. So we also look at gerontology. We see different descriptions and how things happen and how people prepare for it. And then we can also look at subfields in gerontology. And here we have biogerontology. And we say, so when we understand what gerontology is, we now apply it to the people that we are working with. We'll be doing applied gerontology. Again, we can have social gerontology, and this is a multidisciplinary that takes in everything that we have talked about. It talks about demography, it talks about sociology, it talks about social work, and it talks about research, it talks about educating people in different areas as they grow older. Which other one do we see? We have environmental gerontology, and this has to do with understanding the interventions that will happen as people age. Now, for example, there's a concept that is ongoing now that people in the Western world are beginning to let people age in place. It's environmental gerontology. Before people will age and they take them to old people's homes. That does not nullify the existence of old people's homes. But it's just saying the environmental gerontologists are just saying, instead of taking people away from where they already know, leave them, let them enjoy gardens, let them enjoy their, and they will ever want to continue to enjoy, and leave them there and let them age there. That is aging in place. It is environmental gerontology. And then we have jurisprudential gerontology. It has to do with the law and the legal statutes and the structures that protect old persons or older persons as they experience aging. So many things will happen, but once we have gerontologists in this area, so you see, gerontology is wide and people can specialize in different areas as they want. It's not as narrow as geriatrics, because geriatrics is disease. Of course, in that area, they can have their own specializations in the geriatric. But when we look at gerontology, you bring some elements of geriatrics, because when you talk about their health, you bring in geriatrics, you bring them under it, you bring law under it, you bring the environment under it, you then begin to apply it in social development, and people begin to draw programs and interventions for this group of persons. So when you have all this, you now see that gerontology is big, is broad, and it gives room for different things. So there is the need for gerontology. Where I asked the question earlier, why do we need gerontology? Or do we even need gerontology at all? We need to understand what people are going through and how to help them. We need to understand aging in the society. It gives us room to also understand disease patterns and medical requirements for repair staff for media and advertisement, so that we don't give room these groups It's not the best day for my internet. It's not the best day at all.
It is well, man.
Let's just conclude this.
All right, man.
You still there?
We are here, man. Can hear you, man.
All right, thank you. So we need to understand retirement plans and retirement, what is required, housing, the kinds of housing that these people will need, shopping area, sports, their leisure, fashion, of course. There's need to travel, and there are needs to travel, because many of them, especially if we look at our culture today and our environment today, many of the older persons are no longer sitting in one place. If they are not in Canada with their children, they are in Venezuela with their children. And then the social things that should happen. ontology. And once we have this, we'll be live, all things being equal. I hope have this kind of experience. I'll still keep any questions for now. I wanted us to just do aging and gerontology today, and then we'll continue with the next gerontology for today. I think any questions?
Hello, Ma.
Yes, sir.
Yes. When you were talking about geriatrics and gerontology,
Yes.
you did mention that people that are into geriatrics, they are medical people, as it were, taking care of the medical needs of the aged people. And you did also say...
Not the aged people, older persons.
Sorry, Ma. Of the older persons, senior citizens in the society. Vis-a-vis, gerontology, that deals with the, study of the aging process, as it takes place in women's. The question I want to ask is, people that are into geriatrics, can they also venture into gerontology? I know it would be a bit difficult for people that are into gerontology to dive into geriatrics because they will need to have a knowledge of medicine and all of that. But I feel, the question is it possible? I feel it's easier for people that are into geriatrics to venture into gerontology. Wow, she's out.
Mr. Akinwale.
Yes, mommy.
Okay, please go on. Can you quickly ask your question?
Okay. I'm like, is there a possibility to meet an individual that is into geriatrics and gerontology, as in both of them at the same time? That's my question. As in to specialize in both.
It's possible.
Okay.
You can. After, it's possible. But you in the hospital, you will be clinical matters. Doctors who have in geriatrics, they may begin and do something in gerontology.
Okay.
But it's something possible, but I see it as double. I see it as double. Geriatric person, he also understands gerontology. but it may not be able, because they are made sense there.
Wow. Okay.
Have I made sense there?
It's I barely heard you, man. But it's okay.
Yes, it's difficult.
It's
But
all right.
it's possible. That's saying it's possible.
Okay.
But both of them are wide. Both of them are very wide.
Okay. It's all right, man. Thank you, man.